All right. Welcome. I don't know if it's right here. Okay. Welcome to the Wrestling Pod. I'm your host, Carlito Santiago, and today we're here to talk about what went down on Monday Night Raw in Italy. Let me pull up this real quick. All right. So, we're in Europe for the next about 2 weeks, this week, next week. So, stick with me on it. We open up with, of course, the recap from Clash in Italy before we went backstage for the arrival of the Usos and Reigns. They went right to the ring to kick off the show. The crowd chanted and sang for a long time before the OTC finally spoke at the 13-minute mark in the show. They called out Jacob Fatu so he could acknowledge Reigns as his tribal chief, which they agreed to before the match Sunday. The Samoan werewolf came out. Reigns said he knew what time it was. Jay tried to get cute, and Fatu stared him dead in the eyes until the OTC diverted his attention again. He said he knew what he was getting himself into and didn't seem to have any regrets. He acknowledged Roman Reigns as his tribal chief, but he also reminded Jay that he didn't lose to him. He got down on one knee and bowed. Reigns shook his hand and said he loved him. Fatu posed with them to end the segment. While this kept the crowd's attention, it felt like it lasted way longer than it needed to. Fatu is obviously not happy about any of this, so it's interesting to see how he accumulates to his new reality. Everyone did a good job playing their part. The Bloodline story has been going for years, but this feels like the start to a new chapter. So let's hope WWE puts it in the right place. Fingers crossed. We started off with our first of many King of the Ring tournament. Fatal 4-way matches. Carmelo Hayes, Solo Sikoa, Penta, and Obafemi were here. The first King of the Ring match took place with a Fatal 4-way that included, of course, the Intercontinental Champion Penta, Solo Sikoa, Carmelo Hayes, and Obafemi. Femi took out all three of his opponents when he got into the ring. Then he did his signature pose as his music continued to play. When the bell rang, all three opponents tried to team up against him. Their plan quickly failed. The entire first half of this match felt designed to remind people how dominant Femi can be despite losing on Sunday. Everyone did a good job selling for him, and a ringside fight with Tala Tonga opened the door for a powerhouse versus giant match in the future. The second half was much more competitive for the other three competitors, but when Femi recovered, he started taking everyone apart. The Ruler pinned Sikoa to advance in the tournament in an energetic 4-way that delivered some entertaining matches. So here's my thoughts moving forward. Ultimately, I have to assume that Obafemi versus Seth Rollins is the planned idea for the King of the Ring. Ricky Saints and Tala Tonga have been pulled. This is according to WWE. Tala Tonga and Ricky Saints have been pulled from the King of the Ring tournament and replaced with Sami Zayn and now advertised Drew McIntyre. Now, this is interesting. We could get McIntyre Rollins as the kind of final semifinals before we meet to the finals. Could be McIntyre and Femi at Night of Champions. All I know is that something feels a little off pulling them out. I don't know why, but having McIntyre and Zayn be there, I don't know. I know Femi should be in the finals with Seth Rollins. But we'll have to wait and see as this tournament continues. So graded a B, graded a B minus. Yeah, seems about right. We got a new champion last night. We got a new champion from Sunday. Sol Ruca, baby. Sol Ruca came out after the break for her first official interview as Women's IC champion. Kathy Kelly was there to ask how it felt to finally be the champion. And the crowd chanted, "You deserved it." Ruca thanked the fans for always believing in her. She also gave props to Becky Lynch for giving her a good fight. Her interview went uninterrupted, which felt like the right decision, but it wasn't the strongest promo she's ever given. But it was a good start. So, C+. Femi made it clear in his post-match promo that he eventually wants a third match with Lesnar, and I have a perfect setup for that. I don't want to reveal it now because it then could continue leading into what would be eventually SummerSlam. But fuck it. I might as well give you something interesting to hook onto. My idea moving forward would be to have Obafemi and Seth Rollins be the main event, or not be the main event, but be the finalists for the King of the Ring tournament. Having Rollins win the King of the Ring tournament. Because Brock Lesnar should screw Obafemi at Night of Champions. We know that the finalists are going to be held at Night of Champions. It would be better to have Brock Lesnar go all the way to Saudi Arabia, which I believe they're going to. I think it's Saudi Arabia for Night of Champions. Anyway, go all the way there just to screw Obafemi so we can get a third and final match at SummerSlam in Minnesota. Brock Lesnar's official retirement match, passing the torch to Obafemi instead of it being the WrestleMania that you got. I think that's a hook, line, and sinker. If you think about it really carefully, having Rollins win would also set up, of course, the idea of having Cody Rhodes or Roman Reigns as an opponent for Rollins at SummerSlam, which is even better considering that they all have history with each other. So, needless to say, Obafemi should be in the finals with Rollins, if not with McIntyre. And either way, it's good. It's really good. C+ for the promo. Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee versus Rusev and Ethan Page. The second match of the night saw Dragon Lee and Rey Mysterio team up to take on the unlikely duo of Ethan Page and Rusev in a tag team match. This came just a week after Rey Mysterio beaten Rusev to earn an IC championship match. Lee spent a while in the ring, and when he was about to tag in Rey, the crowd started getting going nuts. All ego reigned on their parade by preventing the tag as the show cut to a break. Coming back, the Master of the 619 tagged in after the show returned, and Lee was able to break away and after being double teamed. The Turin crowd went nuts, and when Mysterio hit a series of signature moves. There wasn't much to this match, but it was a crowd pleaser. A lot of high-flying action and some fun in Italy. So, Rey got the win for his team, hitting a 619 to Page. Again, Ethan Page should easily should be added to that Money in the Bank match, headed for Money in the Bank. Now, I'm not going to keep track of the King of the Ring idea. I'd rather keep track of who enters like Money in the Bank or Elimination Chamber. Because that's more, that makes it more interesting to me personally. Graded a B here. And yeah, Reigns also told Jay in the backstage area that he needed to win the King of the Ring so he could go win the WWE Championship. Sure. I mean, if you want to, I guess. Uso being in the King. I don't know. I don't see that happening. I think McIntyre is going to mainly take him out. Because if it ends up being Uso and Femi, I mean, shit, that's a challenge. That's a fucking challenge. I don't think Uso's going to do it. He's with his brother right now. I don't think he's going to do it. Io Sky, Julia, Lash Legend, and Roxanne Perez. Oh, God. The first Queen of the Ring tournament match was up next with Julia, Roxanne, Io, and Lash Legend fighting for a spot in the semifinals. Much like Femi in the men's match, Legend found herself being targeted by all three opponents due to her size and power advantage. This was far more competitive and unpredictable than the men's match. All four women looked to have an equal chance of winning, which made it more fun to follow. Sky prevailed over Julia and won to earn a spot in the semifinals. So Io Sky moves forward in this match. So graded a B. LA Knight was not happy at all during a backstage segment about the bloodline coming back into power. I mean, that's what happens, man. That's what happens when Roman becomes champion. He gets his family at the top of the fucking food chain. Like, I don't know what else you fucking expect. But unfortunately, this show wasn't over because we had to have a main event. And this week's main event was a grueling match between Braun Breaker and Seth Rollins. Why? Because WWE didn't book a main event. And honestly, this feels like a last resort type of main event. The crowd was singing along to Rollins' theme and was clearly in his corner as the opponents came face to face and talked some trash. Breaker got the action started by picking Rollins up and planting him in the corner for some shoulder thrusts. We returned from a break to see Breaker firmly in control. Rollins kept trying to create space between them, but his former friend stayed on him. This was a solid match that advanced their feud, but it didn't feel like it was designed to be the finale. It was almost as if they were purposely holding back because they knew there would be a bigger clash in the future. However, Breakker is also coming off of an injury, mind you. So there's a lot of that going around as well. The pace was a little slow in some spots, but the majority of what we got here was good. Breakker looked especially strong in his performance. Austin Theory showed up to get involved, but Montez Ford showed up to even the odds. Both opponents kicked out of each other's finishers before Braun Breakker accidentally speared Paul Heyman through the barricade. The Visionary capitalized and scored the win, graded a B+. I don't know. It felt, I don't know. I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't catch Raw at all because it's at 2 p.m. I'm working. I'm at work, so I can't catch it. But based on everything that we've seen in the show, oh my fucking God, this show sucks. And it's in fucking Italy. Come on. Anyway, what was the final grade for this show? Monday Night Raw addressed everything that went down in Clash in Italy and had a couple of highlights. But overall, it was a lackluster show. For one thing, only having 4 matches across a 2.5 hour felt way too low. All 4 bouts were enjoyable, but it still didn't feel like enough action, especially with the Bloodline stuff taking up so much time. Now, Femi looking so strong after his loss to Lesnar was the right call. It felt like the right people won their King and Queen of the Ring qualifying matches. So at least some of the good decisions were made. The main event was the biggest highlight of the night. Rollins and Breakker felt more akin to a PLE match, which is always nice to see on a weekly TV show. In fact, it was better than most of what we saw on Sunday. Well, that's a big, bold statement to say there. That's bold. I don't know. You have a B+ for Breakker and fucking, that's bold. I mean, considering that it was a B+ show overall, the overall grade is a C+. Now, no changes to the grades here. I think everything looked pretty fine. For the women's, we need somebody for Rhea Ripley. Now, why don't we need somebody for Liv? Because Liv should have never won the fucking title to begin with. She should have never won it at WrestleMania. We should have still had Julia, or we should have still had Stephanie Vakir as champion. And by the time Naomi is ready to come back, that's where you set up that little feud. Now, if you want Naomi to come back as a babyface and take the championship from Liv, by all means, do it right now. Do it, please. Because Naomi was supposed to be something. Now, again, I don't know. There's just no competition on SmackDown. There's a lot of women that you could use on fucking Raw. And even to have Liv Morgan in the fucking, Queen of the Ring tournament, it feels so, they're still trying to work that out, I think. I think they're still trying to work that out. They need to fucking change that immediately. Like, replace her with Stephanie Vakir. Replace her with somebody. Like the women's world champion should not be in that match, considering that the winner of that match will face for a future world championship. So you want to run back Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley? I swear we're going backwards to 2024. Why? Take her out of the fucking match. So I'm liking the King of the Ring idea. It's perfect. I think it sets up a lot of SummerSlam implications, as you may say. But I just can't wait to see what happens next with Obafemi, Brock Lesnar. A lot of fucking things going on there. Roman Reigns and the whatever, they can fuck off. I'm more intrigued into the Brock Lesnar Obafemi. I'm invested into that. So I think it should end at SummerSlam. I feel like Obafemi should go to the finals with Seth Rollins, have Brock Lesnar screw Obafemi, have Seth Rollins win, and have Rollins be the in between Reigns and Rhodes. I mean, you could easily put it would probably Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins, because let's be honest, when we get to Money in the Bank, Braun Breakker should be winning that briefcase. I'm gonna be pushing for Braun Breakker to win that briefcase. It's just written on the board there. But yeah, if they decide not to do Brock and Oba in Minnesota, then they got to have Obafemi win and face Roman, the ruler against the OTC. Like, it's just, the chief and the ruler. It just needs to happen. All right. I'm going to hop off of here. I will see you guys on Saturday for a pretty early stream because I'm going to be checking out the new Scary Movie coming out on June 5th, of course, this Friday. Don't forget to check out Masters of the Universe this Friday as well. And I will see you guys on Saturday for the SmackDown summary. Peace.